KGRA Digital Broadcasting and Pop Culture Minefield presents Dangerous Military Nerds. Dangerous Military Nerds. They're just like regular nerds, only dangerous. And now, your hosts, Don Ecker and Gary Cassell.
Well, I guess are we still doing the opening titles? Are we doing anything yet? When's the show start?
Well, it starts now.
We're live.
Yes, yes, we are. It's going to be a little different today because, well, not real different, but different because our guest today, something came up at the last minute.
He had a job interview.
Had to take care of it.
And he got a hold of me yesterday, and I'm like, no problem, John. Don't worry about it. Donald.
Well, he likes to eat, right?
He likes having a job, taking care of his kids.
He likes to eat.
Yay.
Yeah.
And I love John. John's a good guy. He was. I met him because when I was writing the script for City of Fire, the first draft, that was later rewritten by Dale Dye. The first draft of the script, I used the story, the actual events in order of what actually happened for the Battle of Mosul. And the story begins with the FOB being attacked by mortars, because that's what happened that morning. And before the bombs went off. And John Andrews is the second person you meet in my script. And we became friends. And we stayed friends longer than Ernie and I did, because Ernie we went our different ways. But John and I stayed friends, and he's just a great guy. He's on the cover of one of my books that I did for Dale Dye. He modeled for me, so he's forever going to be on the cover of that book long after we're all dead. He'll still be on that book on Amazon. So it's very cool.
Well, you know, you mentioned they got nailed by mortars. You just made me flash on Quandary the night before and the day then when I got wounded. I was just thinking about that. We were getting slammed by 82 millimeters, 122 millimeter rockets, 130 millimeter Russian artillery. And I'll tell you what, dude, that is some crap, some shit you do not want to go through, because you're laying there in a hole or a ditch or whatever, and there's not a blessed thing in the entire freaking universe you can do about it except endure it. If you don't, I've seen especially cherries. They get so freaked out, they jump up, and that's something you don't want to do.
Well, it's kind of funny because that's what happens in this scene, because I did the interviews with all the guys, and basically Ernie and John were just getting up, heading towards the showers for their 3 S's. And they're just walking, all the new guys throwing on their helmets, running for cover as these mortars are coming in. And while he and Ernie are just casually walking to the shower amidst all these mortar rounds coming in, he says, they're not going to hit us. They're terrible shots. But all the new guys, they were in a panic mode. And
that, by the way, boys and girls, are what cherries are.
Yeah, new guys.
That. Yeah.
New
or
guys. FNGs, fucking no goods. What's another one is... I've heard it used. In fact, I was called that once when I was a paramedic. There's another name for it, and I forget what the hell it is. But you're green. You're the new guy, and you get fucked with. And the worst thing that ever happened to me as a new guy was when I tried for river rescue, and I got geared up, and they told me to go out into the water to dislodge a body from some undergrowth, and apparently I didn't need to do that.
Ew, fuck you. You do it.
So I go out there, and I thought I was going to drown. As I dislodged him, he broke loose, and there was a thin film of human tissue in the water, and it went in my mouth, and I swallowed some, and I started throwing up, and they're laughing and they're grabbing me out of the water, just laughing. And I made the decision after this happened, I don't want to fucking work with you guys. You let me drink human soup, and I hate you. And so I didn't want to do river rescue after that.
You technically are a cannibal.
No, I threw it back up. So no, I'm not. For a moment, I was cannibal, and then I wasn't. But when I found out that after they got me out of the water, they used the lines and were, the big hooks and shit, and they never needed me in the water. It was all a fucking prank on the new guy. And I'm like, that was too much. That was a bridge too far for me on pranks. No, you made me drink human. Yeah. And so, didn't want to do that anymore. So I even tried fire rescue, if I didn't tell you about that.
I think I threw up a little bit in my mouth.
My mouth. Or was it your mouth? Maybe it's both our mouths. So I got lost.
You're not the only one.
During one of the fire trainings, you got to wear your gear. And I was like trying it, and I knocked my mask sideways, and I couldn't see what I was doing, and I was blind. You're supposed to hold on to the wall. And I fell down, and they pulled me out, and I'm like, yeah, fire rescue is not for me. I just stuck with what I'm good at, paramedic. You got to know what you're good at and what you're not good at. Know your strengths and weaknesses.
By the way, gang, today is going to be a show basically based upon stream of consciousness. Get set. Who knows where it's going to go?
Never know. Never freaking know. Let's see. I'm looking to see if there's anything in my news feed. No, nothing worth talking about. I know that Disney fight. There's some real trailer trash down in Florida at Disney World, and they ran into each other. It's sort of like somebody joked, looks like Six Flags made it to Disney. And they got into a big fight, and I added, all I did was I took the video of their fight, and then I added It's a Small World to it. The song, It's a Small World. And it's like going over like gangbusters on Twitter right now, that video I made, because it's just, and someone called me savage, sick, mean. And I'm like, I just added a song that was fitting to these people fighting at the happiest place on earth. Fucking stupid. Disney's falling apart. They're a mess. DeSantis is going to kick their ass in court. They're just losing a fight. And then, what was it? Who was it posted? Oh, Comics Division posted a new video that says Disney is in panic as they dump Echo, Marvel's Echo. I don't know anything about this, but I will be watching that video today.
Oh my God, that takes me back to January 1995 when Disney handed me soap on a rope and had me bend over so we could
gave you the Oscar.
2-week UFO extravaganza that they never even one time promoted. Disney, the savviest media company on the planet. Oh my God, talk about soap on a rope and getting you know what fucked.
Well, you know very well how to call them.
Yes, I do.
Are you going to do it, Martin?
The what?
Do we have the video?
Oh, yes, I think. But I was hoping for the real thing.
Well, it's still the real thing. It's still him, for God's sakes.
What?
No, we don't have it here.
Oh.
That.
Well, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it.
What?
Where I have the video of you going, those sons of bitches.
Oh.
Yeah, I got it. I found it. I'm uploading. Give me a sec. It's processing.
Are you making
Those sons of bitches.
There you go.
I should use that like my ringtone.
I think it's a good ringtone. We should sell it as a ringtone.
Yeah, well, look, you're using my voice, my picture. I get 50%. 50. Now, I could go for 75, but I'm not a greedy guy.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And, my basic belief is I'd rather owe you all my life than cheat you out of it.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
You're close. Give them to me.
So, well, I'm looking to see if there's anything worth talking about right now in the news. And let me head on over to Newsmax.
Oh, yeah, New York City, dude. New York City.
New York City?
Well, the Bidens are shipping all those illegal immigrants, or should I say, undocumented travelers, up to New York City. And they're throwing veterans out of hotels. They're taking over schools. They're putting all those illegals into other facilities, and parents all across the Big Apple are very pissed off about it.
What are they doing? Are they going to do anything about it?
Well, who knows? Who knows? I don't know.
Let's see. I'm looking to see what kind of news stories there are that's worth talking about. Gutfeld called the last trustworthy person at Fox. No surprise. Fox has named its replacement for Tucker Carlson.
How about the report that exonerates Trump?
Which, by the way, my illustrious congressman, Adam Schiff, Adam Schiff, still maintains that there was Trump and Russian collusion.
Yeah, I know. It's already been proven a factual lie.
Twice. In fact.
Biden.
Hey.
He's going to have to be screwed into the ground when he's dead, okay? That son of a bitch is so crooked and so disgusting and such a perpetual liar, they're going to have to corkscrew him in.
Oh. A lot of you might remember this name. St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner resigned from office Tuesday in St. Louis.
George Soros, prosecutor.
Soros. Yep. That's the one that was going after that husband and wife, remember?
Yep. Who, by the way, were not even Republican. They were Democrats.
They were Dems. That's right. This is a purple state. It used to be a red state. Now it's purple. It's only purple because of St. Louis and Kansas City. Because in Springfield, it's pretty much down the middle. It's a mixture of blue and red. But St. Louis and Kansas City are blue cities. And, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. George Soros is going to lose this big time. A lot of his prosecutors and AGs are all going to get shit canned or forced to resign because they're actually breaking. This is the thing. You cannot create a federal law that breaks state law, but you also cannot create state laws that breaks the laws of the Constitution.
Well, let me tell you what, bud. It's still technically illegal to have, produce, use, carry marijuana.
Yeah.
But California made it basically legal, and the feds have never tried to interfere with that. And not only here, but a lot of places. So, it's kind of been like everything else in the law. It's what is basically convenient instead of what is considered legal or not. So, hey. I'm not making a judgment either way. I always thought marijuana laws were stupid anyway, but
Most
there
of
you
them.
go.
I mean, look, here's my general position on marijuana. It's safer than alcohol. And so I don't really have any feelings on it. Cocaine, other stuff like that,
No.
But weed, I'm like, it's nothing. MTG savagely announces impeachment charges against Biden official while he's testifying. Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia introduced articles of impeachment against the U.S. Attorney for the nation's capital on Tuesday, announcing the move while he was testifying during the House Hearing Committee on Crime in Washington. Greene ripped into the U.S. Attorney Matthew Graves during his testimony at a White House Oversight Committee hearing. She said his office has refused to enforce many existing laws against criminals while it continues to prosecute people who have been accused of entering the U.S. Capitol on January 6th of 2021. So, yeah, it's like some crimes are just fine. Other ones, egregious. It's like if it's anything that doesn't go along with what they believe, it's egregious. So, yeah, that's good. I'm glad she's doing that. I don't know if it'll go too far, but I consider the Republican Party pretty useless. They're really not doing much of anything. They've, you got to remember that all these things that are pissing us off right now that's happening, they were there.
Yeah, I was having a chat the other day with someone, and alongside that, we just got a document in the mail about California energy policies. All right. Well, now I'm going to get back to that in a second. But considering what has happened since day one with the current president, the first thing he does when he comes into office, we were, by all intents and purposes, energy independent. We had the pipeline, the Keystone pipeline coming down from Canada. We had fuel coming out our ears. We could export it, and we did. We could export natural gas, and we did. And Biden turned it all off. Suddenly, we're in the position, now there's a point that I'm getting to, but suddenly we're in a position where we've got to start bowing and scraping to get energy from other places like Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, etc., ad nauseum. Now, hey, stupid, ignorant, or what? Okay. Immediately, gasoline prices started to shoot back up. Now, 20 years ago, there would have been basically people marching in the streets about that. Everybody kind of sat back quietly and just took it in the rear. Part of it, of course, was the quote unquote pandemic. Okay. Everybody was basically locked in at home. Now, that was just the start of some boneheaded economic policies. Look at how the goddamn Fed rates have shot through the roof. For a while, eggs were costing, well, out here in California, upwards of $9, $10, $11 a dozen. Now it's not there now, obviously, but it was. So my point is, those Republicans back in Congress, had the shoes been switched, Gary, if they would have been Dems going after Republican president, they would have already had 24 articles of impeachment filed.
Sure. Oh, sure.
But these guys have done nothing to put pressure on Biden to basically shape up, fly right, okay? Because the billions that he's been sending to that place over there in Europe. I don't want to say the word.
Yeah, we can avoid it.
Nobody voted on that, did they? Did Congress have a vote on that? Did the Senate
And you know what
or the
presidents do?
representatives?
What they do is they give executive orders, presidential orders, and
Nobody's challenged that either, have they?
no. But this is interesting. I wanted to show this to you. Robert Kennedy Jr. has stepped up this last week and said the evidence is overwhelming that the CIA was involved in the murder and in the cover-up of his uncle, John F. Kennedy.
No shit.
He actually said that.
Yeah. And they've known that for 60 years, haven't they?
Yep, but they've been hush, 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 hush about that. And then I brought this up. I actually commented on this on my page. And let me go back to what I said. Because this article, I'll read you the headline. Biden admin considers banning beloved mainstay from schools. What are we trying to prove? And, and there's a lot of people go, well, I'm all for that. And I said, well, here's the problem. The flaw in this law is what I said here. What they're proving is that one portion of the people will roll over for ideological beliefs and another portion will keep tolerating shit so as to avoid having to fight for anything. That's what my stance is on this subject. And what is it? It's chocolate milk is what it is. They want to take chocolate milk. Now, chocolate milk has the exact same amount of calcium as regular milk. All it has is between 4 and 6 grams more sugar. There's 12 grams of sugar in milk, naturally, or supposedly, through the homogenation, when they homogenize milk, there's somehow miraculously between skim milk to whole milk, 12 grams of sugar, consistently between all of them, okay? The only one that's right now is, what is it called? Fairfield milk. It's ultra pasteurized. It has 6 grams of sugar. But schools aren't serving that. They're serving regular homogenized milk in school. So basically, they're pissing and moaning about 4 grams of sugar. And my buddy John from eHacker was like, well, in Japan, we only allow special drinks like that, during certain events and holidays. And I'm like, yeah, but here in the United States, parents are the ones who should dictate what's being fed to their kids. The school shouldn't be dictating. The government shouldn't be dictating, because the school is the government. This is what frustrates a lot of people when I start talking about, because I'm an atheist, okay? I'm an agnostic, whatever you want to call me. Prayer in school. I said, well, why is it against an individual's right to do that? Because you're a government, schools are government officials. So they have no right to infringe on that with a student. They have no right to do that. The child doesn't represent the school. The employees and the staff and the faculty represent the government, not the student. So why is it the student is the one that's infringing somehow on law when they want to pray, if they want to pray? This is where I'm like, you guys are going in the wrong direction of how this thing works. Now they have no right to stand up in class and preach in a public school. But the fact is, every child, if they have a religious belief, should be given free time to do that. And I frown on the fact that any school does this with the milk. It's like, that's the parents' choice. If the parents are fine with it, what's your fucking problem? And I don't like making fun of Ronald Reagan, but Ronald did the weirdest thing I've ever heard, involving himself in the dietary process of public schools when he said that ketchup was a vegetable. And I went, first of all, tomatoes aren't even a vegetable. They're a fruit. This is how bad government is. And they shouldn't be dictating a goddamn thing in public school. Parents should be voting on this stuff, and they're the only ones who should be voting on it. And that's my problem with what they're doing here. I don't care if it's Biden or any administration. When it comes to dietary restrictions or needs of a student, that should be something that the parents are directly involved with that school with.
Well, I'll tell you, the thing that enraged me were stories coming out about kids, mostly grade school kids, which is generally K through 6, going to school, carrying their little bag lunch, that
Right.
mom made them, walking in and some ass wipe. And by the way, there's nothing in the world more useless than ass wipe. You know what that is, right? That's used toilet paper.
Yeah, you always toilet
Some
paper.
ass wipe teacher, all right, taking their freaking lunch, not letting them take their little lunch into school because the school provides lunch. Now that is tyranny in a teaspoon, buddy. That if I would have been the parent of a kid that happened to, I'd have been down there beating on somebody's desk. Okay.
Yeah, well, we're seeing this infringement. There's this one student that's actually suing his school system because over I think it was a T-shirt.
Yes.
And
yes.
And absolutely, because the school says one
They
thing.
threw him out two times.
They allowed BLM and Antifa stuff in the school, but they wouldn't allow him to wear his shirt, which I can't even remember what it was.
Well, what it was there are basically in nature only two genders.
Oh, yeah, science.
Male and female.
Male and female. It's science. It's biology. I love it when they say non-binary. I'm like going, you have to be binary to even call yourself non-binary. Just saying. Because we're all binary.
Look.
Animals.
Gary,
all animals are binary.
I'm going to tell you right now, buddy, from my standpoint, we are living in the age of total freaking insanity. Okay. How a guy can wake up one morning and decide, well, I'm not really a guy, I'm a gal, and put on some lipstick, travel to work or travel to school, and then I am expected to support this person's insanity. Hey, I'm one way about it. It's real simple. Dude, if you got a package hanging between your leg, biologically, you're still a male. Fuck you. Okay? And vice versa. If a woman decides she's a man and, well, you know, do you got a package between your leg? Well, then, sorry, honey, you're still a female. You may like other females or whatever your taste is, but hey, that's my rant, dude. And I'm
mine is very simple, not too dissimilar from yours. Is that, I mean, if you ask me, that's my answer. Biologically, this is what you are. What you want to be on your own personal time, how you feel, that's your business. I don't care. Live and let live. I don't really bother with other people's private lives. I don't care. You do what you want to do. I will always be respectful and polite to people in person. But if you tell me that I have to do something that I know is wrong, and when I say wrong, scientifically and biologically wrong, that I have to say or believe something, I'm like, no, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Oh shit! Is Vicky about to start cooking?
Well, tonight, Daddy, that's me. Okay,
you're cooking.
I am making Philly cheesesteaks tonight. Okay.
Now, how do you make it? Do you do it traditional with cream cheese? I mean, cheese whiz, or do you use?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the traditional way.
Hey, dude, I come from Pennsylvania. Okay. That's where the Philly cheesesteak. What, Vic? Oh,
what did she say?
She said, I wouldn't brag about that.
Yeah, I know, really. You tell Vicky I said that you're getting almost as bad as Keith about bringing up being from Ohio.
But anyway, that's where the Philly cheesesteak was born. Okay. And we don't do them very often, but every once in a while, I'll just start getting a yearning for a Philly cheesesteak. And so my lovely wife, my bride, goes out, gets some appropriate steaks. I slice them up. We get some green peppers, sometimes red peppers, a white onion. I saute all that stuff. Oh my God, Gary, it's good. It's good.
Sounds
and yesterday, to top it off, my wife found some PBR, a 12-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon. So we're going to have some Pabst to go with our Philly cheesesteaks. Living high in the cotton, dude.
You just name this beer and look, our PBR man is here.
Ah,
Hey,
yes.
Kingsport.
Tennessee's a goddamn good state. I love Tennessee. I like the southern states. I got to be honest. I love all of them. I like, Georgia, Louisiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, not so much.
Look,
I love Missouri.
Look.
Amen. PBR. Somebody said something about Schlitz is making a comeback. I went, it never went away. Schlitz never went away.
When that whole Bud Light thing blew up a few weeks back, so Vicky's sitting at home, and she said, I think I'm going to make a meme. And I said, well, you know what, baby? What? I said, you could go to any of our Hispanic beers. There's a lot of them. Dos Equis, Modelo, Tecate. And I said, you know what you'll never find on any of those beers? And she said, what? I said, a phony white woman. So that's the meme she made. Put it on Facebook.
Oh, man. Yes, Lady V, I'm sorry to tell you that, yes, Kentucky and Tennessee are both southern states. Maryland has sometimes been squeezed in there, although
Tennessee was split during the Civil War, dude.
Yeah, Tennessee was split. All of Virginia was southern. In fact, that's where the Southern government was.
No, they weren't.
Confederate government.
No, they weren't. Because West Virginia wasn't, and they broke away from Virginia. Originally, they were still Virginia.
When did they break? I don't remember that. But I do know that Virginia itself, during the war? All right.
Yeah.
I just know that Virginia is where the Confederate government was held in Richmond, Virginia. Fredericksburg, Virginia had multiple battles there. And around Manassas, that whole area, a lot of Confederate battles. But that was the plan, and Jackson said, we should never take the fight to them. They should bring it here. And that's how they were winning. The Confederacy was winning the war until Gettysburg. And that was when Lee took the fight to them.
Look what Animal has to say.
He invaded Maryland, okay? Took the Confederate Army up through Maryland, and Maryland was a border state, and there was a lot of Confederate sympathizers in Maryland, and they thought maybe they could swing them over to the Confederate cause. And then they decided, well, we're kind of light on shoes. We need shoes. We need other supplies. Hey, I understand those goddamn Yankees have a lot of that. Let's go up and take them from those goddamn Yankees.
Goddamn Yankees. I had a lady.
Then Gettysburg happened.
When I was 11 years old, I got my newspaper route, and there was this little old lady, and God bless her, because she later gifted me a crucifix before she died. I took care of her at a nursing home, but I knew her when I was little, and I went to collect my newspaper fee from her. And when she heard me speak the first time, I turned to look in my bag, and I got hit with a cane. She had hit me with a wood cane. And I looked back at her like, what just happened? And she threw it at me as I backed away from her. She said, get out of here, you goddamn Yankee. And I went, I was like Mr. Bean, like, and I just like fled. And I sent, ironically, my black friend, Chester Pratt, I sent him, would you collect from her? I'm scared of that lady. She hit me. And she asked for forgiveness later. It was funny. But man, she heard my accent and just knew I was not Southern, even though I consider myself Southern. Because I grew up most of my life, Arizona, and then suddenly I'm in Virginia at the age of 8. And from 8 on.
So you're wearing South Face.
Really? Anyway, but As defined by the U.S. federal government, the southern states include Alabama, Arkansas, Delaware, the District of Columbia, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, and West Virginia are all considered southern states. That's weird. Like, I didn't think that about the District of Columbia. I always thought that it was a neutral because it was between Maryland, but Maryland is listed in there. I never thought of Maryland as a southern state. I grew up in the South. I had a guy from Georgia get mad at me. He worked at one of those, we call it the Georgia welcome station called the Waffle House. There is a Waffle House at every exit in Georgia. I ain't kidding.
Don't forget what else Maryland is known for. The home of Spiro
Agnew.
Agnew.
Say hookers. I thought you were going to say hookers.
Spiro Agnew.
Spiro Agnew. Yeah, that piece of
That's
shit.
why I used it, Vic.
he was a corrupt piece of shit. And
Richard Nixon's vice president.
I am not a crook. And but that guy at the Waffle House there called me a Yankee. And I'm like, I'm from Virginia. And he goes, that's a northern state. I went, tell me a bulk of the leadership of the Confederate Army, where were they from? He goes, I don't know. I said, Virginia, you fuckhead. In fact, the Confederate capital wasn't Atlanta. It was Richmond, Virginia. Fucking tell me I don't know my fucking history. Idiot. But the people from Georgia just think everybody that's from north of them is, this is how they talk down there. They're like, I got the vapors. But I got to tell you, it's a beautiful state. I loved living there in Georgia. It was Zoe and I were there when she was little, and we had a big giant. This thing had to have been a couple 100 years old. Weeping willow outside of our apartment window. Wake up to that with the sun coming up. Oh, it's just beautiful.
But it
is a gorgeous state.
Tree. A filthy tree.
I don't know. I just think they're beautiful. I like looking at them.
I got one out here.
What is that? Lady V says, I'm from Georgia. Oh. Yeah, no, it's liking you. Now I don't like you.
You goddamn Yankee.
But I am a Yankee, though, because, you know, my philosophies are with the North when it comes down to it. Like, if I was from that period of time, just like the rest of my family, I would have fought with the North, with the North against the Confederacy. But Lady V is a Georgian. She's from Georgia. She's got the vapors. She's getting the vapors. Oh, Lord, Gara's talking. I'm just getting the vapors. And, it's a Georgia accent that they use for Foghorn Leghorn. It's an exaggerated one, I say, boy.
I say, boy, you about to exceed
What kind of bird are you?
the limitations of my medication.
I'm a chicken hawk. So, Foghorn Leghorn. In fact, if you go all the way back to Tombstone, the movie Tombstone with Val Kilmer, he's basically doing a variation of the Foghorn Leghorn accent. It's not a true Georgian accent. He's doing a Foghorn Leghorn accent. I love that, though. Alabama? No, that's not an Alabama accent. What's up, Kyle? Kyle's here. Zax. Oh, do I have that video here? I don't have that video here. I need to get that video for here. Where is that video? I got to get that video. Let me go up into videos and compress, see if I have it. Do I have it? Yes, I do. I'm uploading.
That means your audio is going to go to shit.
There. All right.
I want to offer you a full promotion, right? Better hours, better pay, better parking space. In fact, Kyle's parking space. Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
Congratulations.
Fuck
That
you,
movie.
Cal.
Fuck you, Kyle. So what do we got in the private chat here? What is this? So everybody that's here, let me go through this. Penny is here. Andy Morrow, Sergeant George Ishak. That's a new one. I don't know. Do you know Sergeant Ishak?
No.
Then, of course, Love of My Life, Anima Confusa. Peter Vinkman Fansite, a.k.a. Vinkman's Girl. Dragon Ruse, Das Wolfen, who had him some jellies and decided, I don't like getting high. Lady V, of course, who I was just arguing with playfully, because I am just playing with you, lady. Kingsport Cal, proud Tennessean. And, of course, Kyle Zax, who is a proud Canadian. I don't know why that made me laugh. Proud Canadian. They should be proud. They are a great country. They have been an ally of ours.
Trudeau forever.
It's like they've been our allies since just after we tried to invade them. That brought about the War of 1812. You know what? Let's annex Canada. Fuck it. And nobody else here yet, but I don't know. We're just doing one of these shows where Don and I are just yammering about shit.
Or not.
Now, see, here's one. Sorority allows this guy into it that's trans, and he's apparently terrorizing one of the girls in the group. How can this be allowed? I don't get it.
Well, I'll tell you how it can be allowed until the men that still identify themselves as men get together
with the women who identify as women.
We have had enough of this horse shit. Now that takes me to Virginia, dude. A year or two back, a father ended up going to a school board meeting because his little girl was raped in the girls' bathroom by a boy identifying as a girl. And guess who the cops arrested?
The dad.
The father. Now, I'll tell you what.
Hi, Jennifer Bailey.
Every father in that goddamn school board meeting should have been up there in their face. That was bullshit.
But this is people afraid to speak up. This is what the Dems want. I should say the left want, is people afraid to stand up. People afraid to speak up. That's why they're treating January 6th as sedition when it wasn't really. It was people standing up and protesting.
That is a left-wing provocation, January 6th, insurrection, my ass.
That's why they need to ban that crap from any...
Underage.
Anyone underage. Amen. Hallelujah on that one. So Kyle is here. Kyle's one of those weak dads. He's a weak dad. He's kind of a puss. No, he's not. He's a great dad. Just messing with Kyle. Because fuck you, Kyle. We should get him on here. Are you at work right now, or can you jump on with us if you wanted to, buddy? But Jennifer is here too, and always welcome to see you guys. So let's find something else. Let's find something more fun to talk about, like Disney failing or something. We got any good stories, Martin?
How about superhighway pileups?
Ooh, I know one. Let's go see what Doomcock's been talking about. Doomcock wants to come on with us, by the way. He loves you. We had a conversation about you, Don.
About me?
Yeah. Doomcock just loves you. Just loves you. Let's see. What is his latest?
Well, he never fucking writes. He never sends Christmas cards or cookies. He can't love me too much.
Disney sued by investors over alleged Disney Plus deception. Shareholders were misled. Lawsuit. Disney's in trouble. They're in so much fucking trouble right now. I cannot believe this. They lose.
Go woke, go broke.
Yeah, they lost millions of subscribers.
Go woke, go broke.
They're just in trouble, and they keep trying to stand the same ground. And Iger's leading him into complete disaster. He's the one who started him on that path. Everybody that would have fought him was fired. And he acts like when he got rid of Chapek that I'll fix this. It's like, what are you talking about? You're the one who created this. Bob Iger. What a joke. Let's see. Any other good stories? Go to YouTube. I subscribe to a lot of these. Joe Rogan.
Where's my Mickey Mouse? Oh, he's over there on the shelf. Yeah. Every time you mention Disney, I got to look over at my Mosker.
Mosker?
My Mosker, yeah. My Disney Oscar. You still got a picture of that?
Yeah, it's hold on, let me it might still be on here. Let me look and see. Is it on? Nope, it's not on here, but I can add it. I have this one.
Oh,
That wasn't it. No, that wasn't it, dude.
no,
Let me go into our PCM
definitely
folder.
no.
Is it under coffee? That's right, Monday. I can't remember where I put it.
I see how you are.
Action Monday.
You got jealous. You
Don
hit-
Ecker. Here we go. Here we go. I got a picture of you with boobs. I'll put
Yeah.
that up here. Yeah, here's you with boobs.
All right, cool.
Just hanging around with two skull-looking boobs. Let's see. I got a great picture of you compared to Elvis, which you're more square-jawed than Elvis.
Jesus Christ, two great looking guys, huh? Wow.
Let's see. Let me find it here because it is in here. I have it. I keep everything you sent. There we go. There we go. Here it is. Boom. That's
My Disney Mosker with Mickey giving me the finger. Yes, sir, boy.
But he's only got 3 fingers and it's confusing. But yeah, the laziness of cartooning, lose a finger and it'll make it easier to draw people. Let's see. Great Dane is here. What is up? Let's see. What's this? Gary, by the way, my doctor appointment went okay. They're doing tests, but found that my blood pressure is low. Hopefully a good low, and they needed to adjust my meds to a new weight. Okay, that's fantastic. The only thing I get concerned about with blood pressure is if the pulse pressure is wide or if it's too narrow. And pulse pressure is the area between your diastolic and your systolic. And you don't want it too close and you don't want it too far apart. Let's see. I still say Elvis would have been died years ago, even if he didn't die in 1977. I don't know. I think that he's, for a while there was the modern Sasquatch with Elvis sightings.
Elvis didn't die because I saw the movie Bubba Hotep.
Bubba Hotep. He's living there with
Bubba
John F.
Hotep.
Kennedy, played by the late, great Ozzie Davis.
That is one of the greatest freaking movies ever. I love that movie, Bubba Hotep. And boy, I'll tell you what, gang, if you've never seen it, get a copy of it and watch it. It is one of the funniest and most poignant movies I think I've ever seen. And it has a lot of social commentary about how the elderly are shelved and put away so they're forgotten about. There's a lot of that in there. It's a great movie.
There's it's Gazelle Animation, and I'm sorry, it just popped up into my feed again. And what they are doing is, do you remember in the 70s they had what was the 4th season of Star Trek with the animated series?
Yeah.
And they're taking that same style of animation and using episodes of TNG and Voyager and Deep Space Nine and recreating scenes. in that style of animation. Has anybody seen this?
No.
Because I was posting it on my page here. I'll show a few seconds of it because I think it's freaking awesome what these guys are doing. There we go.
Obviously, they have permission from Paramount, right?
I highly doubt it. Highly doubt they have permission.
Janeway to bridge. Report.
Paris broke out of confinement in engineering. He used a phaser on the port plasma conduit.
This is crazy, dude.
Oh, it looks great.
It looks just like the classic TV series. Exactly the same.
We have power failures all over the ship.
Where is he now?
We're having trouble tracking him. We can't get power to the internal sensors. Tuvok has security teams searching deck by deck.
I'm on my way to the bridge.
I don't know. I'm not going to show anymore because I don't want to get ganked. That's fucking awesome shit.
Oh, I want that URL.
Here, copy video URL. And all you got to do is go to their main. Here, I'll share it with everybody. It's in the chat. There you go. That's just for that video, but you can go to their link and in the video description to see the rest of their videos. They've got TNG I've seen and this, and I heard they're going to be doing Deep Space Nine too. Just little clips from episodes done in that classic style. I don't know if she was in that episode. She didn't come about until like 5th season, right?
3rd or 4th.
Was it 3rd? That far
Yeah,
back?
3rd or 4th.
Wow, I thought it was further on. I just know that the ratings were starting to wane, and they decided to add sexy to it.
You know, my business manager at the time, I had met her through Dwight Schultz, okay, who was then still appearing on Voyager, and he had already done the Barclay thing on the Next Gen. And I was knocked sideways when she first appeared on the screen. And I'm talking about 7 and 9, Jerry Ryden.
Yeah.
And Lynn, my business manager, knew all those people because a lot of them she represented in these fan things and what have you. So she came up to me one day, and I was like a little kid. She said, "You want to meet Jerry? You want to meet Jerry Ryan?" And I was like, and I was too chicken shit to do it. I said, what would I say to her, right? I know what I'd like to say to her, but then Vicky might get upset. But
yeah. Yeah, I couldn't imagine that going over well. But my goodness. Yes, she was then Blaylock, who was cast as the Vulcan in Enterprise, brought about by the same person for the same reason. Yeah, T'Pol. And I liked her character a lot too. I actually like both their characters. I just wish they didn't make them wear the spandex suits. Even though it looked good, it didn't seem Star Trek to me for them to do that. But despite my feelings of Star Trek Enterprise being a mistake, because all the problems we've had since came from Enterprise, because Enterprise was the first one to start treading over territory that had already been covered in Star Trek through literature and through the shows. And so you really shouldn't do that. You take a risk of rewriting history of Star Trek. And then they opened that door. That they were the ones who opened the door for all the shit that came afterward, from Discovery to Strange New Worlds and some of the fucked up shit, having the what are they called? The Gorn be known to the Federation when the Federation had no idea who it was for another like 20 years. It's just weird shit that they do. But oh well. What Star Trek's dead for the most part right now. So
Roddenberry is probably still spinning in his grave.
Oh yeah. But only because they put him on a rotisserie, not because he's upset.
Yeah.
Martine,
Yes.
any thoughts on Star Trek, Star Wars? Is Star Trek and Star Wars dead?
I don't like to talk about the disease.
Yeah.
Always.
It's about break time,
No.
isn't it?
Yes.
Yep. In 1 minute and 49 seconds.
So I still have 1 minute. Okay. My true opinion is we always have the good stuff. The all that was produced before this dark age of entertainment. So the term death, the franchise is dead is a point of view.
Thank you for your insight on that, Martin.
I'll tell you when
I
they
don't know
did
what the
it to
fuck you
me,
just
buddy,
said.
is when they changed the Klingons. That's when it happened for me. I said,
let's
"Screw
get
this
into that in
crap."
the second hour because I'm very strongly opinionated on the whole Klingon thing. So let's go ahead and go to our commercial break, and we'll be right back, guys. Hi, guys. This is Gary from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, this can all be linked to dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration with the strongest immune-enhancing natural ingredients. The Fuel Up system is made up of 3 different incredibly tasting varieties. Wake kickstarts your day with a jolt of caffeine. Play boosts focus while hydrating your cells. Rest not only helps you relax, but also rejuvenates your cells while you sleep. Here's what our clients have to say.
I really don't miss my coffee, and you can tell the difference.
So I'm going to take it for the energy. I'm going to take it for the play. I'm going to take it, all day.
And it works. That's the thing. It works. We love it.
Take the Fuel Up Challenge now, where we offer a Feel the Difference money-back guarantee. Fuel Up for life.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh, wow. We survived. Welcome back to the commercial break. Now for some more Pop Culture Minefield on KGRA. If the back from the break, yeah. It's not very long. We need to add more commercials to it so Don has a chance to go to the bathroom.
No, I didn't even try. I knew better.
Didn't even try. I really do want to talk about this because Star Trek. Look, in the original series, they were limited by their budget on what they could do. And one of the original ideas was to have them more alien looking. So, but this is what they looked like in the original series. That's Calicos, who also played Baltar on Battlestar Galactica. But the Klingons were meant to highlight the fact that their foreheads were supposed to be larger than humans. And they used makeup to do that, but it was like makeup, not prosthesis. Right. And then when they had the budget, Gene was able to finally push the envelope and get this. And a lot of people don't know that is Mark Leonard, Spock's father, playing the head Klingon on the commander on this Klingon cruiser in Star Trek The Motion Picture. That's the same guy that played Spock's dad right there. That's Mark Leonard. So he's actually gotten to play 3 different aliens on Star Trek. He played the Romulan in the very first Romulan story in Star Trek, which was a submarine story. And then he played Spock's father. And then he came back to play Spock's father later, but also got to play a Klingon. I think that's fucking cool. My problem is with what they did with the Klingons in the Discovery. And it was just a huge F up all around.
Oh.
Everything Kurtzman pushed for was
the Klingons.
F up. Yeah, just so bizarre looking. Here, I'll upload it. Just ugly. Ugly as sin.
Yeah, that's no Klingon.
And the armor, my God.
Everything looks so operatic and just ridiculous, non-functional. It was such an insult to the intelligence of Star Trek
Whoa,
fans.
whoa! We have a fan of
Yeah.
Gates
Oh, look,
McFadden.
I had a crush on Gates McFadden. And Gates McFadden, if you watched our Monday episode of Military Monday, we talked about the fact that she is Jack Ryan's wife in Hunt for October. But it was really weird. They gave her the English accent, and it's a weird accent.
Hey, Courtney. How
Hey,
are
Court's
you?
here. Hi, Court. So let's hear your thoughts on the Klingon thing. What were yours, Don?
Well, to me, the quintessential Klingon back in the original Star Trek was Michael Ansara.
Oh, Michael Ansara. Yep.
And the woman that played his wife. Okay. Now, they were certainly very, very humanoid, but they were just odd enough. What the hell was the name of that episode? I think it was The Day of the Dove, where there was some type of alien energy entity.
That's the one with Michael Ansara.
Right. That fed on conflict, violence, fear, and had transported Klingons to the Enterprise, gave them all
It loved
swords.
aggression. It loved aggression.
Right.
And this is the one you're talking about right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's it. Now, they, to me, were Klingon, okay? That was, and when the original first Trek movie came out, directed by Robert Wise,
the
Klingons in there threw me. I couldn't believe, the change that they had.
It was a lot more extreme than people expected. It threw us, because I was a kid, going, why did the Klingons look so different?
Right.
And in the series, that they finally, what did they say, Martin? That a northern version.
What happened was
variant?
this. No, what happened was this. Some Klingons wanted to develop a virological weapon, and they got sick. But the humans were immune, so they took human DNA and applied to some Klingons to save the population. But the human DNA just flattened their ridges.
And that's what it did. And
Ruffles have ridges.
Some Klingons like don't. Some are ruffles. But they did explain it within the Star Trek universe to give us an understanding. And but it led to one of the funniest moments with Worf.
Oh yes,
on Deep Space Nine when they went back to the Trouble with Tribbles episode, and they traveled back in time and went to the Enterprise, met Kirk and all that shit. And they're in the what do they call it? It's like the tin forward on the station, and where they're drinking. It's a bar, and he's like, wait a minute, those are Klingons? Why don't they look like you? And Klingon and Worf goes, it's a long story.
He said, we do not discuss it with outsiders.
That was
right.
So they had some fun with it on Star Trek, which I thought was great.
That time travel episode was brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that was brilliant.
Yeah, getting to see him, O'Brien in line and Cisco in line with Kirk walking up and down the line giving the lecture. That was so much fun watching that one. And Terry Farrell looked so good in that.
She was so
uniform.
hot.
Oh, the irony. She ogles Spock, and in real life, she married his son.
Wait a minute, did she?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
No shit.
Jadzia Dax is married to Leonard Nimoy's son, who by the way looks exactly like Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, his son looks a lot like him. Too bad he didn't want to act, because he could have taken over playing Spock pretty easily. But that actor who plays him in the latest videos from the Gene Roddenberry Foundation.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
That actor really looks like Nimoy.
I thought it was CGI, and then no, it's makeup and prosthetic.
It's makeup prosthetics with CG. The CG is causing some of the smoothing on the face, and in order for it to blend with the atmosphere.
Now I got a question, because you guys, I've got a general education in Star Trek. You guys are more advanced because, hey, quite frankly, you go batshit over this stuff.
Yeah, we're not.
But what is the deal with Vulcan women? Now, in the original Star Trek, okay, when Spock went batshit crazy during Ponfar, all right, he didn't have a lady to cohabitate with. He ended up telling Kirk, hey, it happens every 7 years. Okay. Well, 7 years is a long time to go with no booty. Now, I can't hardly believe that Vulcan women are willing to wait 7 years. Come on. What is the deal with that?
Well, she didn't. She met somebody else. Which is what leads to that episode, Amok Time.
The chief is in the house.
Oh, is Patrick here?
Yeah.
Hey. How's it going, man? So, but I do want to go into some of this new stuff that the Gene Roddenberry estate's doing with that. Do you know where the videos are? Because I can't seem to find those videos. Hoping to find it here, and I'm not doing it. There it is. Finally found it. This is not CG. Let me see if I can share this.
Barrel head. That really hurts.
You guys hear those choppers?
Yep.
It must be the North Korean invasion we've been expecting. Okay.
Is this one? Yeah, here's one. This is two different actors playing Spock and Colt from the original The Cage episode. And this looks like Nimoy and her. It's really incredible what they did. Entire video. Here we go. Sharing. No audio. Just the video. That is not Leonard Nimoy.
Who in the hell is it?
It's a guy in prosthetic makeup who resembles Nimoy as far as shape goes. And it's incredible what they did.
I would have never known.
And she actually looks like the young actress that played Colt. Look at this shit. He even has the movement of the eyebrow down perfect.
That's amazing.
With the advent of prosthesis and CG working together,
yeah,
we could very much recreate some Star Trek moments that we never got to see before, like in the books, because that's what they were doing. That was from the expanded universe of Star Trek from the books. And they took some moments from the books and put them to film because there were stories in between the stories. And I'm like, is this something that we could hope to see someday? But I've said all along, and I've talked to Keith about this numerous times, that CG is good enough now to where we could create a new animated series with enough of the cast still alive and actors voicing other characters. We could still get some classic Star Trek stories with the original story characters, from Enterprise.
Look, those fan-based productions that they made that Paramount ended up taking a shit all over.
Yeah.
What was the name of that movie
Axanar.
that was complete? Axanar.
Yeah, but the guy
I desperately wanted to see that movie.
That guy was a bit of a con man, and he single-handedly destroyed everything for fans. This is where Robert Meyer Burnett has really stepped up. He was part of that at first, and he got pushed out. And the reason he got pushed out was because he's honest, whereas that guy that was running it was not. and he was trying to turn it to profit. That's where he screwed all the fans, was trying to turn a profit off of a fan film. But Lucas is the one who has really stick his neck out for fans by creating the fan film program, to where fans can make any film. They just can't do certain things, use certain characters. Is that right? Am I remembering that correctly, Martin? That they can't use certain characters in their film. Anything that comes straight from the films, they can't use. Past that, they can do almost anything else.
No, they have to modify that visually. They have to do a visual modification of about 20 to 25%.
Even with the fan films.
Oh no, fan films are dead. You cannot do anything.
I'm talking about Star Wars.
Star Wars.
George Lucas did it right, because he stuck his neck out for the fans. Whereas Star Trek screwed the fans because of the creator or the maker of Axanar. Axanar, when Robert Meyer Burnett was involved with it, was a much better idea. But the guy took it over and turned it into an for-profit situation. And that's what got him in trouble. And now you cannot make two things. You cannot make a film over 30 minutes, fan film. And if you do make a fan film 30 minutes long, you cannot make a sequel to it. It has to be its own separate story, different characters.
Remind me.
You can't have a series. You can't have a series, what they're saying.
Star Trek Renegades, that was previous to Axanar?
Renegade? I think so. Yeah.
With, oh my God, Koenig and Uhura. Because that is a full-length feature.
And it's what led to the demise of Star Trek Continues, which was, in my opinion, the best Star Trek fan series. That was the one with, what's his name from Vegas, the voice actor from Japanese anime films.
Vic Mignogna.
Vic Mignogna. And Vic, I've talked to him numerous times. Really nice guy. I loved what he did. I did not like the other series, Phase 2 or whatever they've called it. David Gerald wrote with them, and he wrote with agenda, socio-political agenda. Whereas Vic Mignogna's team made Star Trek feel like it was part of the original series. It felt like it was an offshoot. It was shot the same way. They rebuilt the sets. They got James Doohan's son to play Scotty, which I thought was cool. What's his? James Doohan said his best thing he left was saving a woman's life, and she ended up getting her master's degree in electronic engineering. There you go. Yeah, it's awesome. Great. I also lost a Star Trek quiz contest with James Doohan, and I think he was drunk when we played. Because he sure smelled drunk. I was sitting across from him, and it just you could smell the alcohol coming out of his pores. And but it's
he
very
got
great
the
guy.
shit shot out of him in Normandy, bud.
Yes, he did. Lost a finger and got shot in the ass. He beat me on Star Trek trivia. He kicked my ass. Man, he knows it. He knew.
Well, no shit. He was Montgomery Scott.
He took that shit seriously. He really took that shit seriously. And yes, I am. He took that shit seriously. He knew a lot about Star Trek. But
I wonder why.
Hey, Star Trek, if you boil it all down to the essence, is basically hope for the future. Look at the shitstorm we're in right now. Are we going to be here in 50 years? There's no way of knowing. Okay? Hell, we've been on the cusp of a nuclear conflict the last couple of years, and nobody's talking about it. The media doesn't even broach the subject, but Star Trek gave hope to the audience.
Yes,
that's what was magical about Star Trek.
Here you go. These are shots from the phase. What do they call it? Continues. Star Trek Continues. And they had real actors and casts from Star Trek on the show. There's Vic Mignogna in the middle. They did a tremendously good job on this. And the final episode was so fucking good, where it blended with the original series moving into what the overall look of Star Trek the Motion Picture. You got to see that transition of uniform. Very good series. You can watch them all online at StarTrekContinues.com. And Lou Ferrigno, there's Lou. I've worked with
Green
him twice.
again.
Yeah, green again. That's right. That image didn't load. That's really weird. This is a great show, and all the awards that it won is no surprise because they put a lot of work into that show. And
well, I'll tell you, I've been holding out because I would love to see Section 31.
Oh no.
I just don't think under Kurtzman it's going to be worth anything.
Well,
I don't know. There's a show of quasi-villainous fanatics. I don't know how much appeal it will have.
And, one thing I do want to point out about Star Trek, too, is despite it being about the future and hope, it still had that feeling of military to it that I liked, and I've always enjoyed. And when Nicholas Meyer took over working on it for the movies, Nick Meyer is the one who really went naval with Starfleet. And he got into an argument with Gene Roddenberry. And he won the argument over Gene Roddenberry. Gene acquiesced and said, "You're right." And so that's when we saw more of a naval theme to Star Trek really kick in. And
hey, that's the only way it could have ever worked, Gary, is a strict military structure. You don't go out into the universe in a single ship and have a slapdash, bunch of civilians running the damn thing. They've got to be military.
That's why I made fun of Lost in Space, the Netflix series, because even though I liked it, one major stupid factor kept weighing heavily on every episode is that they're in a new frontier with fucking dangerous aliens, and Mrs. Robinson doesn't like guns. Guns don't solve anything. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And in fact, when they get attacked by those giant beasts in about the 5th episode of the first season, all of that would have ended quickly if they'd been armed. It would have ended immediately.
Not only that, listen, the show has its good things.
Oh,
However,
yeah, I still love the show.
Has things that makes me not completely love the show. For example, those colonists, those were some snobs, motherfucker.
Very snobbish.
They have no qualms in abandon humanity to their death, to their doom, because they were the good humans. They were.
Do you boys remember what happened to the colonists on Space Above and Beyond?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good show, man. I hate that they.
Well, you know what? We should do a series on here, and where we talk about that show, because it's a military show. So we should do that, Don. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd be up for it. Sure.
Do a nice little deep dive into it.
Yeah.
It would, because how many episodes were there? Because we could probably wrap that up in a month or two.
I believe they're 23.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Episodes, space, above and
oh my god! I always wanted to have a model kit for the Hammerhead.
Oh, I know, right? Because I think you're right. I think it was 23. Let's see.
Now I got to tell you guys, the
23.
one episode that stuck with me was episode 12. Now, in that particular episode, of course, you got to know
the birds. Is it that one?
No. That episode, you've got to know a little about your history, your military history. But in Christmas 1914.
Oh, the Christmas.
Right after the war began, okay? The war was, what, 4 months old, 4 or 5 months old. The Germans and the Brits both had machine guns. They tried to do the old Napoleonic style mass infantry attacks. People were getting mowed down by the thousands. Okay, so they ended up digging trenches. And in some cases, they were only, the Germans and the Allies, the French, the British, were only 100 yards or so apart. But right before Christmas, the Germans started raising little Christmas trees that they had gotten, I guess, from home, little evergreen trees with candles on them, lights, and they started singing. Well, then the Brits and the French joined in, and the next day, Christmas Day, they had an impromptu truce where they got out of the trenches, went out into the middle of no man's land, gathered up the dead. They exchanged little presents between each other. Very poignant episode. Well, that was all in connection with something that happened with Space Above and Beyond, the humans. They got into a firefight with the Chigs, and one of the transport ships got shot up. They lost power, and it had all the main characters on it. And it was how they were going to survive because their craft was drifting into enemy space, into the Chig space. That episode, I watch that every year at Christmas time. I have it. And I'll tell you, it was a great episode. Check it out, Gary. I'm sure you've seen it.
I've seen it. I've seen it. And it's the 11th episode, by the way. It's called River of Stars. And
I thought it was 12.
No, 12 is Who Monitors the Birds. I've got them all right here in front of me. But
I stand corrected.
I want to do a complete breakdown. I say we do 2 episodes. How many episodes should we do on a show? I mean,
I think two.
Two would be fine. First hour, second hour. I think this will be fun. And we can do this when we don't have a guest on. It'll be fun, and we'll do it till we finish the series. I'd love to do that. I can do little slideshows.
Now, by the way, I got a hard-on for Fox.
What?
Okay. Fox fucked this show.
Oh,
just like Fox fucked the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
They're not the only two. That there are other shows. Remember when they did that Crime Friday or whatever it's called, Mystery Friday? They were trying to compete with NBC.
Man.
They had some Firefly is another prime example. Not only did they fuck it by ending it too soon, they showed them out of order, and that's why I didn't enjoy the show. They're out of order, so it made no sense to me.
Well, Space Above and Beyond, they canceled it on a cliffhanger.
Yes. That ending. You went, what the hell is happening here? What does this mean?
Fox is also the original studio that fucked Sliders. Yeah. Another show I really enjoyed, The Critic, the cartoon with John Lovitz. They also were the ones who canceled Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It got picked up by another network.
Futurama got hit.
Futurama got fucked over by him really bad. Firefly, Arrested Development. That was saved by Netflix.
Well, that last season I didn't like it.
I still enjoyed it. And let's see, Family Guy got canceled twice and brought back by Fox.
Oh, look! That's Wolf. That's Wolf in his heart.
Oh, Das Wolfen is whining, Gary.
Jesus, he whines more than fucking Germans and Austrians. I'll never hear the end of that from my girlfriend. Sliders was the shit. And I'm kind of hoping that this reboot revival series is going to be good. They promised not to be woke. He promised this will not be a woke series, and that warmed my heart that he actually said that for bringing back Sliders. Moved to Fox, then canceled again. Yep. And Sliders went from Fox to technically NBC, because NBC owned Sci-Fi Channel.
Remind me of something, because my memory is going to shit. The professor in Reyes John, in one of their slides, he was switched with an evil version of him.
Oh yeah.
Did he came back, the good one, or they got stuck with the evil one forever?
I don't know. I got to go back and revisit that show. I haven't watched it in like over a decade.
We could call Tracy Torme and ask.
There's a good one to do. God, somebody's got to get him some good internet. I would love to have him on a regular basis.
Hey, but dude, you'd have to send a freaking engineer down there.
Engineer.
Because as much as I love his wife just can't handle it. And when it comes to Tracy, you might as well give him bear skins and flint tools.
Flint tools. He's like that episode of Star Trek, the original series, where Kirk ends up on that planet with Native Americans.
Yeah.
But Eureka is another show that got screwed over, but not by Fox, but by Sci-Fi Channel. When they sold that last time to become the SYFY channel, this show got screwed really badly, and they regretted it, but it was too late. The damage was done, and they couldn't bring it back. If you've never watched this show, Don, I highly recommend this show. I love the writing on this show. It's about a dad and his daughter. Yeah, Eureka.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Oh, I love this show. Now that guy, all he does for a living now is he's the Maytag repairman on commercials. That's what he does now. That guy is so much better than that damn commercial. He's a good actor.
I couldn't tell you the last time I watched commercial TV. I don't watch it.
I don't either, but for different reasons, or maybe the same reason. I don't know. When they pulled that alternative universe shit, that was a mistake, but the fact is I still liked it. The writing was really good and solid. So
I'm gonna give a hot take. This alternate universe is the jumping the shark of the sci-fi.
It is. But at the same time, it was still well written. The characters were still the characters. Can't time me out. Oh, what happened? Something happened in the chat?
Yeah, PBFS, she cannot she cannot time out. She said that YouTube is impeding her mod abilities.
There was a hell of a show that premiered several years ago. I believe it was NBC, where LA developed there was some kind of a rift through space-time where they dropped, a bunch of people dropped into 10,000 BC. What the hell was the name of that show?
This one, Primeval.
No. Yeah,
Primeval, yeah, with the dinosaurs. Yeah.
No. This didn't have dinosaurs, but it had diurnal wolves, it had saber-toothed cats, that kind of stuff. But then, like everything, they took a premise and they had to shove all that bullshit manufactured drama into it among the various people in there. Which, hey, they would have stuck to the time travel angle, and other people that had dropped in there earlier, they would have had, I think, a winning combination. What the hell was the name of that show?
I don't know.
Do you know which one I mean?
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I thought you were talking about Primeval, because I like that show. Where there's this warping that was happening and dinosaurs were coming into our reality.
Yeah, I saw that, sure.
And that was a fun show. How many seasons did that get?
Well, we got 2. I'd be surprised.
2007 through 2011.
Really?
Yep. And they had a spin-off series too. I liked it when it had the one dude on it. Oh, what is his name? He played Mr. Hyde in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Do you remember that, Martin? That actor?
Yes. Oh my God. In his last name, I think is Fleming too.
Wasn't he
But I
British? A British actor?
Jason Fleming. That's it. Jason
Yeah.
Fleming. Very good fucking actor. And he was in like the first season, I think, or
Wasn't he a British actor?
yeah, British, limey. And a really good actor. I like that movie too, by the way, bringing it up, is League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I liked it better than the comic. I love Sean Connery going. Well,
It was vastly underrated, I think.
Yeah. When he delivers that line, well, that was naughty. I was like, yeah.
Don, I think the show you're talking about is Terra Nova.
Terra Nova. Yes. Let me go look it up real quick.
That is with Stephen
That was
Lang,
the Spielberg
I think.
produced show where they go back in time to save human life.
Yeah.
And Stephen Lang's in it. Oh my God, what a good actor. Is that the show?
Yes. No.
Nope, not it.
No.
Give me another
I know
description.
what show you're talking about, but no, that's not it.
And they only got one season, sadly. Again, was that another Fox fuck up? I wouldn't be surprised. So give me another description of this show again. And I'm going to see if I can piece it together in my head.
Okay, All in the Sky developed. And a bunch of people in downtown Los Angeles suddenly got sucked through this rift, sucked back to 10,000 BCE.
Land of the Lost?
No, that was a kid show. No, this was a primetime drama.
This recent?
Several years ago.
Let me do a search real quick. Because La Brea is the new series that's like that.
I think that was it.
Yeah, that's still going. It's right now. It's in its third season, I think, on NBC, where there's a sinkhole in the middle of Los Angeles, and if you fall into that, you go into the past.
Right.
Yep, that's the show. It's got, let's see, any big names in that? No, I don't know any of these actors.
Neither do I.
Yeah, I don't know any of these actors. My problem with the pilot was the mother. She was annoying me, the actor, and I tuned out because of her. And that'll happen to me. And come to find out, by the way, because I've complained for years of some of the cardboard acting in Voyager that bugged me. Do you know they were told to act that way?
Why?
Well, they were doing an interview, and I showed it to Keith the other day. It was the whole bunch of them, almost the entire crew, were doing an interview, and they were having memories and talking about things. And the actor that played Ensign Kim was one of my biggest complaints for his acting. He said every single time we did a scene, this showrunner would come in and tell them to reshoot it and to act down. He says that way, and this was his reasoning. He said he wanted the human actors to play down their characters so it enhanced and lifted up the alien characters. That was the reason. It made the performances of the actors that were playing aliens look better if the humans downplayed their performances and were more mechanical in their performance. So I've been pissing and moaning about that guy's performance on that show being terrible. Come to find out, it's not his fault that they were forced to act that way on the show.
And he even said that the first 3 episodes he was in a constant fight with the guy. And,
yeah. He was so frustrated, and the guy would punish them by making them do the scenes over and over and over again to finally get them to stop doing it, fighting him. And I'm assuming that showrunner eventually left after about 3 seasons.
Hey, we have Pat is, and
Hey,
that
Desmond's Walking is here. Yeah.
And we have Pat here.
How does someone stay an ensign for 7 years? Yeah, it's pretty bad. You know, it's somebody like made a joke about that with me, like because they saw my DD-214. They said, "How the fuck did you get out of the Army that low in rank?" And I said, "I've got to explain. I left the military to raise a kid, and my wife stayed active duty, and she got the rank, and I got out at the same rank, and that's why." Kids, man. How does the things and so yep. What's up, Pat? What is up, Deadman's Walking? So we're in the last 20 minutes of the show. So what are we going to talk about? Because La Brea is a good show in concept, and I think it's very similar to Primeval. It's very similar, and I think that's why you got it confused, Martin. Because it's a portal, but the dinosaurs are coming to us instead of the other way.
Oh, I'll have to watch the show. Man, it sucks that the sci-fi shows always get the chopping block. Always.
They're always going to be considered B.
It all depends on the writers, okay? It's the writers that basically can make or break the show, because you can tell a lazy writer immediately, all right, by some of the dumb shit that they end up pumping into the series. You take a show like, let's go back a few years, Miami Vice. When Miami Vice premiered, that was literally the hottest thing on television. Mm-hmm. And for the first couple of years, everything revolved around Miami Vice. The pastel killers, the Ferraris, okay? Even the armament that Detectives Crockett and Tubbs carried. There was big chatter about that. And then there were other shows like Hill Street Blues. Now, Hill Street Blues, for the first 4 years, it ran about 8. It was stellar. But then the formula got tired. You know what I'm saying, Gary?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
By the way, did you watch those shows?
Yeah. If it's law enforcement, I watched it. I loved Crockett and Tubbs.
But then every once in a while, they'd have an episode that jumped the shark. Do you remember the episode where it was like everybody got dosed with LSD?
I do not remember that.
Oh, yeah, it was. I forget now. I've got a bunch of those episodes. I haven't watched them in a while, but yeah. Some of those episodes kind of were mediocre, but after the first 3 or 4 years, everybody, I guess you could say, got used to it. Crockett used to be, go 3 days without shaving, smoking Lucky Strikes, having Elvis, his alligator, on board the boat. Later, that stuff all got written out. And, I got to be honest, I miss some of that shit. I love that alligator.
I did too. I liked that he had a pet alligator. It's weird that got written out of the show. But
maybe he bit Don Johnson. Who knows?
Yeah, I heard he was a bit of a diva from a lot of different people.
Johnson
or the alligator?
My buddy, Rich Saraday, went through acting school with Don Johnson. Know him back when he did, what the hell was the name of that first big movie of his, A Man and His Dog?
Fuck yeah. Classic.
Yeah. Man and His Dog.
Dog is telepathic. So, sorry, the girlfriend has to go. She sure was delicious. That's so messed up, that ending.
Yeah. But, he initially, that guy, hey, he was a handsome guy when he was young. And oh my God, he had the world by the ass. And hey, just got better for him. Now, the thing that bothered me about Tubbs, or not Tubbs, but Crockett, when the show first started, he was supposed to be a Vietnam vet.
Yep.
And hey, everybody I knew back in those days were Vietnam vets. And he would do shit that, I found kind of sketchy. But all right, I mean, it was all part of the backstory. But then they would have an episode. Now, what the hell was that guy's name? Where supposedly Crockett knew him in Southeast Asia. He was a reporter. And G. Gordon Liddy was in the episode. And
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, the guy was going to bust a secret government operation where they were going into Nicaragua or somewhere to overthrow the commies. And, it was, it got a little iffy, but hey. G. Gordon Liddy, for God's sake.
Yeah, do you remember he used to have a radio show back in the 90s?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So did our favorite lieutenant colonel in the Marine Corps.
Oh, Ollie. That's right. Do you know, I was a short period of time at Shannon Green's in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and he would frequent there. And just a funny little story. I did not caddy for him. I was caddying for somebody else, but I could see him, and I was just like, holy shit, that's Ollie North, And then this hubbub happens the first time I ever met him, the day I met him. I heard that there was a problem there at the facility because the person that parked his car was so nervous that he locked the car with the keys in the car. And I thought that was hilarious when that happened. I'm like, no shit. And he goes, he said he got so excited that he didn't even pay attention that when he got out of the car, he locked the door manually and shut it, and then realized he left the keys in the car. And I'm like, oh my God. And they had to call for service to come unlock the car. It's funny. But I just remember that. That's how I met Ollie North. I'm like, God damn. Now, so I just saw somebody brought this up. This was a show that I've watched too. It's Jerry Anderson, the same guy that brought us UFO, Space 1999, Captain Scarlet, Thunderbirds, and all that shit. It's called Space Precinct. And I enjoyed that show too. I like that show. And I do have it somewhere on my hard drive. I do have it. I will tell you guys that on Monday, I think this is the movie we're going to end up discussing. It's called The Covenant. It's Guy Ritchie's new war film. And I don't know if I'll do a slideshow with that because I don't want to give it away now. But it's the new film, Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. Absolutely looks fantastic. The story of a guy who puts everything on the line to rescue his interpreter. So, but if you didn't see this, Don, this was that show that somebody brought up a minute ago in the chat, Jerry Anderson's Space Precinct. It was a fun show.
Not even heard of it. No.
It's a fun show. It's from Britain, but it's really good. The same guy that did UFO and Space 1999. Yeah. But I got to tell you, I think that his shows went downhill quality-wise once he and Sylvia separated and divorced. I feel that it hurt the quality of the shows because she really was pushy about quality writing, and he was not. Oh, for The Covenant? Yeah, it's absolutely going to be a great film. I have no doubt. So looking forward to watching that with Anima this week. So that's our planned film for Military Monday. Past that, let's see. Friday, I don't even know what's going on Friday. I know you're going to join us. We're going to do 2 episodes of From on Friday, and then talk about 1 episode of Florida Man.
Let me just say one word. Sisu.
I think there should be a film we should do too. I really like that film. I'm looking forward to. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but everything I've seen from it looks amazing. When he's fucking using a pickaxe to kill Nazis, I'm just like, holy shit.
No, man, he throws landmines at them, and they land
this
on
dude,
their heads.
this dude's backstory. Okay, once again, you got to know a little about history. 1939, before the war, or right around the time World War II started in Poland, this guy was a Finnish soldier. Okay, when the Russians, the communist Russians, invaded Finland. Now, they had been disputing over a piece of land there that apparently had a lot of minerals in it that Stalin wanted. And this guy was one of those people you just don't screw with. And he was special operations, and he went out, he had a personal tally of over 300 Russians he personally killed during the Finnish-Russian War. Okay. Well, then in 1944, now the Nazis, they allied with the Nazis against the Russians. And the Finnish soldiers during World War II agreed to fight in as far as the Finnish border. A lot of them did not want to go into Russia itself. The Finland had SS detachments that did. Well, when they signed a peace treaty with the Soviets, okay, the Germans, Finland told the Germans to get the hell out of the country. Well, this guy by this time is out of the military. He's just basically doing his thing. He was basically prospecting for gold out in the middle of nowhere. He runs into some Nazis that are retreating, and they decide to fuck with him. Well, buddy, that's where things got rough in a hurry. And I'm telling you, I watched it last night, and whoa, it had me on the edge of my seat. It really did.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm looking forward to seeing it. And the violence looks just right down my alley for over the top shit. Let's see,
did you see in the trailer when he pierced a skull from one end to the other with a knife?
Yeah. Fox aired stuff at the weirdest times. I used to watch Space Precinct after Xena. It's always been that way with these shows that are syndicated. You know, that's what breaks them a lot of the time, is the fact that they're shown at weird times. But Terra Hawks is a show that I've watched too, and I did grab this for you guys. This is Terra Hawks. It was another Jerry Anderson show, and his son runs the production company now, and he's the one that produces Thunderbirds and all these other shows. I think they work now in Australia, and they work mostly with what is that company that did the effects for The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings? Weta. Or is it Weta? I can't remember. Is it Weta or Weta?
I don't know.
It's one of the two. But they worked. Jerry Anderson's company, run by his son, makes these shows with them down there in Australia, and it's beautiful miniature work. And this is one of those sci-fi shows with the puppets again. Love this shit. Super marionation, as Jerry Anderson would call it, because they were robotic. They still were moved with wires, but their facial stuff and mouth and eye movement and expressions were done through radio control, and it was really freaking cool. Loved that shit as a kid. It was basically action figures to us as kids. It's an action figure really moving around, you know. Yeah, I'm a big Jerry Anderson fan. I have everything of his on my computer. Love that stuff. We are down to the last 5 minutes. Yep. Thanks, Martin. Right when I say it, we're down to the last 5 minutes, and we're going to be wrapping up. We'll probably wrap up a little early today because I don't know about you guys. I'm beat. It's been a long day today. And Chanel, I think, is sick of listening to us.
Yeah, she probably is.
You really think she listened to us? She must probably.
She's sitting there listening to rock and roll, just making sure our mouths are still moving. So, but she hinted at that earlier. If you would have ended early, I'm okay with that. So, but I got to tell you, I'm looking forward to watching Sisu, and I'm looking forward to watching The Covenant. There are a couple other films I've seen that, like I'm getting ready to watch that other movie, and this one with Anima, I just forgot his name to play the Punisher. Blonde-haired actor. Thomas Jane. That new movie with him. One Ranger. I'm getting ready to watch it. When I found out who directed it, I'm like, okay, I'm in. I like that guy. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I like Thomas
You'll
Jane
notice two things. You'll notice two things when you watch One Ranger. His British female MI6 contact and he, Thomas Jane, were both in The Expanse.
Oh. Yes. And by the way, that's a show that we plan on talking about at some point too, because I've yet to introduce Anima to it. I love that show. I'm pissed they ended it. I'm pissed they killed that character over wokeness. I want to go back and watch that whole series from the beginning again. It's another show that got canceled by the Sci-Fi Channel and got saved by Amazon. Really good show. Excellent science fiction. And Thomas Jane was brilliant in that show.
And technically, it was on top of its game.
Yes, it was. That's the way you write science fiction, is the way they did it. And it's also, by the way, all the way up until the very end, the way woke works in a real world. Woke ideas work in a real world. Everything was believable on there. I think one problem a lot of people had was the female Marine. And I really didn't have any problem with her at all. No, I've heard people.
Bobby Draper?
Yeah.
She was cool.
A lot of people have complained about that character. I liked her. She was badass.
Yes, she was.
And I like the dude, the psycho on the ship, man. He's not a psycho. He's a sociopath.
Amos? No, he was not a sociopath.
Yes.
Yeah,
he wasn't.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
No,
pretty much.
Trust me. I've worked with sociopaths, and he absolutely was a sociopath.
Amos was able to feel empathy.
Not real empathy. What he had was loyalty.
Yes.
Loyalty is different, and sociopaths can do that. They can have loyalty. Some of the best guys I knew in the military, killers, very sociopathic, very loyal. Very loyal. So, yeah.
Well, now, Gary, no, wait a minute. You use that like a pejorative.
No, I mean it absolutely is a good thing. Loyalty is important. Oh,
okay.
A killer is good too. But the fact is being a killer, being mildly sociopathic really helps. If you're going to be a long-term killer. So, just saying that. All right, guys.
Well, that's a discussion we ought to have sometime.
Yep. Penny, Andy Morrow, Sergeant George at Eshak, Anima Confusa, Vinkman's Girl, Dragon Ruse, Das Wolfen, Lady V Elements, Kingsport Cal, Zax, aka Kyle, FKHC 2005, Jennifer Bailey, Great Dane, Patrick Jordan, Parrothead, Pat S, Dadman Walking, anybody else that's it? Real Way Nation. Bye, guys. See ya.
Those sons of bitches.
Ma, I'm doing a show.